Heyo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Ace. This is Fantasized Football. We are back once again, bringing y'all some more fantasy football content for the 2021 fantasy football season. And I'm here today to bring y'all my favorite trade targets for week 9 of the fantasy football season, as well as my sell high of the week. But before we get into that, the main event, the meat, the potatoes, did want to give a quick shout out to each and every one of y'all that come by on a weekly basis, showing your boy some love and support. I appreciate each and every one of you cute little suckers so very much from the bottom of my heart. I love you. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Welcome to my humble abode. I do hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do at any point, do not forget to leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Help me reach my goal of 500 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the fantasy football season. I would really appreciate any and all help reaching that goal. But like I alluded to, I'm here to bring y'all my favorite trade targets for week 9. We got quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 tight end, and of course the sell high of the week. So stick around till the end of the video for that. But without further ado, we got a lot to get into. So let's kick it off with my quarterback trade target of the week, which is going to be Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers. Now, Aaron Rodgers is coming off of his worst fantasy performance since week 1, but keep in mind, he was without Davante Adams this week. Now, he had over 300 passing yards or 3 touchdowns in each of the last games prior to week 8. I expect a big bounce back here in week 9 from Aaron Rodgers. He's going up against Kansas City this week, and then he has Seattle in his next matchup after that. I think these are both great opportunities for Aaron Rodgers to bounce back and produce at a very high level. And then a little icing on the cake for Aaron Rodgers is going to be the playoff schedule of Baltimore, Cleveland, but then he gets Minnesota in the championship week. So if you need help at the quarterback position, I think you should be out there trying to trade for Aaron Rodgers this week. But moving on from quarterback, we're going to hop on over to running back, right? We're going for gustos this week, y'all. We're going for some heavy hitters. We're building championship rosters via trades this week. I think we should be out there trying to trade for Ezekiel Elliott here. He's got back-to-back games with under 70 yards and no touchdowns. But on the bright side, we have seen increased workload in the receiving game for Ezekiel Elliott. He's had 15 targets in the past 2 games. Prior to that, the first 5 games of the season, he only had 11 total targets. He's outpaced what he did in the first 5 games of the season in these last 2 games. Now, if you look at weeks 2 through 6 from Ezekiel Elliott, he was averaging 21.8 opportunities per game, nearly 94 yards and over a touchdown per game, and I expect him to return to form moving forward. You have Dak more than likely coming back next week as well. This is great news for Ezekiel Elliott. And then in terms of his matchups, he's got Denver in week 9, a relatively tough matchup, but then he gets Kansas City, Atlanta, and Las Vegas in his next 3. Plenty of opportunity for Ezekiel Elliott to be winning us weeks moving forward. But if you don't want to go out, try to get your hands on Zeke. Another running back that I really like to try to trade for here is Cordarrelle Patterson of the Atlanta Falcons. Now, one thing I want to talk about with Cordarrelle Patterson is the increased workload in terms of the run game recently. He's been averaging 12 rush attempts a game over the last 3 games, comparatively with 7 per game through the first 4 games of the season. We know he has been involved in the passing game very heavily. And again, prayers up to Calvin Ridley. Speedy, safe recovery for Calvin Ridley. But with Calvin Ridley out of the lineup, I expect to see an even more increased workload from Cordarrelle Patterson in terms of the receiving game. He's already been averaging nearly 6 targets a game, and I think it's within the range of outcomes that he ends up somewhere in that 7 to 8 target per game range with Ridley out of the lineup. And we very well could be looking at a running back that's going to be getting 18 to 20 opportunities per game on a week, getting a sizable workload, a lot of volume there, and a player that at running back that isn't really game script dependent because of his involvement in the in the receiving game. He gets New Orleans and Dallas in the next 2 matchups as well. So I think now is a great time to go out and try to get your hands on Cordarrelle Patterson. Now, moving on from running back, we're going to hop on over to wide receiver. And like I said, y'all, we're going for them. Whoa. Them heavy hitters this week. Stephon Diggs of the Buffalo Bills. Stephon Diggs. I feel like I should have mentioned Stephon Diggs earlier in the season. I didn't realize it because I don't have any shares of Stephon Diggs. But Stephon Diggs is the wide receiver 23 in half PPR this season. He's only eclipsed 70 yards in 2 out of 7 games this season. But the good news is the volume's been there. He's on a 158 target pace thus far this season. The volume's been there. I expect the regression, the positive regression to be there for Stefon Diggs in terms of his catches, in terms of his yardage, in terms of his touchdown. And that's why I think Stefon Diggs is such a great trade target here in Week 9. He gets Jacksonville and the Jets in his next two matchups. Both very easy matchups. He's got that divisional matchup with the Jets coming up in 2 weeks. Great time to trade for him. And on top of that, with a playoff schedule, you get Carolina, New England, and then you get Atlanta in the championship week. Go out there and trade for Stefon Diggs while you can still get your hands on him here in Week 9. But if you don't want to go after Stefon Diggs, don't worry. I got another heavy hitter here for you guys. It is DeAndre Hopkins of the Arizona Cardinals. DeAndre Hopkins only saw 2 targets here in Week 8, but he was sidelined a lot of the game due to a hamstring injury. He was just running onto the field, too. Coaches were telling him, no, he didn't give a hoot and holler and stinking thing about it. He just ran right out on the field. No cares. No F's given from DeAndre Hopkins, and we love to see that. We know how talented DeAndre Hopkins is. He has been relatively inconsistent a lot of the season, kind of touchdown dependent. He's actually currently outside of the top 10 at the wide receiver position in half PPR as the wide receiver 12. But I am banking on the talent of DeAndre Hopkins, even though he's been relatively inconsistent, relatively touchdown dependent. The volume will come for DeAndre Hopkins with Kyler Murray in this explosive offense. I think he truly has league-winning upside. As for a playoff schedule, you get Detroit, Indianapolis, and then Dallas in the championship week. Both Stefon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins, whoever you prefer, those are my 2 favorite trade targets at the wide receiver position here for Week 9. But moving on from the wide receiver position, we're going to hop on over finally to the tight end position. And there's only one guy to talk about here. It's got to be Kyle Pitts of the Atlanta Falcons. Again, prayers up for Calvin Ridley. Safe, speedy recovery. But with Calvin Ridley off the field, Kyle Pitts should be in for an increased workload as well, just like we mentioned with Cordarrelle Patterson. Now, he had a disappointing Week 8, 6 targets, 2 catches for 13 yards. But Cordarrelle Patterson, Kyle Pitts, probably going to be the 2 main benefactors, as well as Russell Gage in the receiving game with Ridley out of the lineup. Pitts is now the de facto number 1 on this team, the number 1 receiver, the number 1 option in the receiving game. He's had 6 or more targets in 6 out of 7 games this season. And now, obviously, with Ridley out of the picture, I expect that trend to continue of him receiving high volume. Receiving that high volume, and that's what we want to see, especially at the tight end position. And he has great opportunities to bounce back in his next 2 matchups against New Orleans and Dallas. So if you need help at the tight end position, I would be going out and trying to trade for Kyle Pitts here in Week 9. But that wraps up our trade targets of the week. Let's quickly recap. We're going for the gustos, right? We're going for heavy hitters. Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, Ezekiel Elliott and Cordarrelle Patterson at running back. And then we have Stefon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins at receiver, and Kyle Pitts at tight end. And now it is time for the sell high of the week, y'all. It is time for the sell high of the week. And the player I want to talk about, I actually had a couple. I was originally going to go with Tyler Lockett, but I pivoted. I kept my pivot foot strong, got in the post, turned around, a little Kobe for y'all. I pivoted over to Melvin Gordon of the Denver Broncos. Now, Melvin Gordon is coming off a monster week, a monster 2-touchdown week, right? But he has not seen more than 13 opportunities since Week 3. So I think now is a great time to get off of Melvin Gordon if you have him on your fantasy roster. Javonte is only bound to get more involved. Javonte has looked very good. Obviously, Melvin Gordon's looked all right too, but if these guys are going to be splitting touches in an offense that has not looked great, that has not been able to put points on the board, their defense has been carrying them, right? They're not going to be in a lot of run-heavy game scripts if they're not scoring points, right? So we're going to see more from the wide receivers on this team than we will from the running backs, right? And Javonte Williams has been more involved in the receiving game than Melvin Gordon has. So I think now is a great time to sell on Melvin Gordon. The volume hasn't been there. You got Javonte creeping around there, waiting for his opportunity to just take over as the main guy. Melvin Gordon's on his way out anyways. So I think now would be a great time to move on from Melvin Gordon and fill another hole on your fantasy football roster. But with that out of the way, that completes the gauntlet for today. We are all finished. I do hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did at any point, make sure that you leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Help me reach my goal of by 500 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the fantasy football season. I would appreciate any and all help reaching that goal. Make sure that you drop your start or sit questions in the comments below for the next video. For Friday's video, drop them on here or follow my socials, Instagram, Twitter. Get on there, drop your start, sit questions there. Any other questions you may have, just follow me on my socials. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Start or sit questions. Start or sit questions for the next video. I would appreciate all of those. I would love to answer you guys' questions, but I do hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that you have a great rest of your week until I see you again. I am done. Me, my boy, we are out. That is it. That is all. That is all there is. We will catch y'all next time. And as always, thank you, love you, peace.